And welcome to EVTN News. I have news, but I don't want to say the greatest news, but it'll get better. News will get better eventually. It will come around. So let's get started. Matt Fradd and Pints with Aquinas are coming to the Daily Wire in 2026. So, yeah. Yay. It's obviously the website owned by the media organization owned by Ben Shapiro. So, um, yeah, he'll be bringing Catholicism there. Anyway, okay, yay. And it doesn't get any better from there. Archbishop Joseph Grundwittel of Vienna, Austria, who was appointed by Pope Leo on October 17th. I talked about that in one of the last few videos. He said recently in an interview, "I believe that we should not think of the church in terms of priests, but in terms of parishes." So already it's getting very strange. He said we cannot say there are fewer priests, so there must also be fewer parishes. My approach is different. We should ask ourselves what parishes need in order to remain alive locally, even if there is no priest present every Sunday. So you can kind of get an idea of where this is going. It's about empowering parishes to live independently. This includes having women and men who support and organize parish life, even if a priest is no longer regularly available as in the past. So, lay-led parishes include women leading a parish. Yeah, that's no thank you. No thank you. But don't consider the Latin Mass because that's not that's not what the bishops want. It's what the lay people want, but not what the bishops, or at least a few of the influential bishops. And on the same note, on Thursday evening, Cardinal Gerhard Mueller gave an interview to EWTN. I believe it was Raymond Arroyo's World Over show. He said, "I heard from some bishops that Catholics who do not want the newer form of the liturgy can either remain at home or go to the SSPX. So, or we can go to a different rite, the Eastern rites. And the bishops won't get, well, those bishops won't get a cent. So that's what I'd recommend. Okay. On October 25th, the Italian Synod approved a final document of proposals in which the Synod affirmed its support and called for research into the issues addressing the ordination of women to the diaconate by the Holy See. So the document states that the Synod offers its support and promotes research projects of theological faculties and theological associations to offer a contribution to the deepening of issues related to the diaconate of women initiated by the Holy See. The section regarding the female diaconate was the least popular among participants at the Synod, but it still passed with a 77% approval. So the Italian bishops are interested in the ordination of women. This is disgusting, and 77% of them they they want to research projects into something that can't happen. 77% of them don't understand basic Catholicism. That's pretty sad. Okay. On October 1st, Pope Leo appointed the Polish-born Bishop Joseph Dabrowski, age 61, as Bishop of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. As auxiliary bishop in London, Monsignor Dabrowski became infamous for pressing in online videos for stricter virus measures, including a jab mandate on their clergy and staff. I thought we were past this, but obviously not. Monsignor Dabrowski was involved because he chaired the Diocesan Pastoral Response Committee. Dabrowski accused meritorious Catholic residential schools of having caused harm by attempting to erase indigenous identity, so he bought into that narrative. So, a virus bishop in 2025. Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed? Okay. Alright. See, there's different features here. Yeah, who would have guessed there was a virus bishop? And this past week, there hasn't been a ton of news, at least from what I've been following. Pope Leo, I'm not really reading too much into his quotes anymore. He said some things that were very strange, but I mean, you can't, I don't know. Francis said a lot of things too, so I'm not really into that kind of stuff. I'm not really into following a lot of that. So I'm not going to talk very much about that. But the the bishop appointments, are more what I'm interested in, because at this point we're in a battle. You know, there's a lot of Catholics. Well, so I guess take this perspective, right? Ad Orientem liturgy, Novus Ordo, of course, but how many Catholics would like that better than the Mass facing the people? How many Novus Ordo attendees would like that? Ad Orientem better than Mass facing the people? And I would say, at least those of goodwill, none of them would leave the church, or none of them would oppose it, or at least, yeah, none of them would stop going to the Mass. At least the Catholics who accept all the doctrines of the Catholic faith, I would say 100% would not leave. Those who reject certain doctrines of the Catholic faith would, of course, be the most vocal, but they already reject doctrines. So, why would that be a consideration of the bishops? Well, how many of the bishops accept and believe all the doctrines of the Catholic faith? I think that's an honest question. So if Ad Orientem was made the single, I guess, liturgical posture of the Novus Ordo, then would it actually deepen the faith of Catholics that attend a Novus Ordo? And I would say probably yes. Not probably, yeah, it definitely would. It would make people think about it. It would probably, be better for the priests. And yeah, it's just everything would improve slightly. But bishops are opposed to Latin Mass, they're opposed to reverence, and we get what we get. So we're in a state of crisis, and there's more. I mean, they're not Francis bishops anymore, they're Leo bishops, and this is the first one I've heard who was all in on the virus. So we got a new virus bishop. And we've had Fiducius Supplicans bishops, we've had Amoris Laetitia bishops from Leo. So the Leo bishops are more of the same. They're not radical anti-Catholics. By and large, they're not radical anti-Catholics like McElroy and Stowe, but they certainly oppose basic Catholic ideas like marriage, LMNOP activity. Catholics believe that LMNOP activity is a sin that cries out to heaven for vengeance, and a lot of these bishops endorse it. Leo bishops. Marriage, divorce and remarriage. Some of these bishops are into that, which isn't possible. at least from the Catholic Church, but some of these bishops are okay with it. Ecumenism, there's a lot of ecumenical bishops. In fact, some of the new ones I haven't even reported on a lot of them because it just becomes the same thing after a while, and that's pretty disappointing. But you know, we have what we have. So okay, well, that's all I have for you today. And this hasn't been a long show, not a lot of news, but we'll get there at some point. Yeah, I'm always keeping an eye out. I know there's some stuff coming, but it could be a while off. It could be a ways away. So I'm not even gonna tell you the context of what it is. But anyway, I hope there's good news in the future. We'll see. Some of the good news is kind of more under the radar. Anytime there's new Latin masses opened, it doesn't make a lot of headlines, and it's because people don't want attention drawn to it. But anyway, that's what it is. And this past weekend was the Triduum of the Saints, and the Holy Souls. And today, actually, because yesterday was a Sunday, today is the Feast of All Souls and the Novus Ordo. I mean, they celebrated Requiem on Sunday, but I don't know that's permitted in the traditional rite. So in the 62 and pre-55 Missal, All Souls was deferred to today. And depending on your schedule, it's sometimes difficult to get to Mass whenever certain rubrics are different, I guess, would be the right term to use. But that is when the traditional faith is restored. I don't think that'll be as much of a concern. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, this has been EVTN News. We are the laity, and we will not be silent.